Full discussion that we had earlier. So indeed, education now has put us to a different landscape, and that we are always challenged over and over again. Because as they say, change is something that we do over a period of time. And with that, we welcome you to our free webinar on module writing for preschool to senior high school, a project of the APSCU La Union chapter. So a pleasant morning to each and every one of us.
Picture ka.
We would like to inform everyone, simple house rules, to please mute your audio so that every one of us could properly listen to all of our speakers and to be able to interact and participate throughout the session that the APSCU La Union chapter, in partnership with the Phoenix Publishing House, has prepared for all of us. And at the same time, if you have any questions, please use the chat box for your queries and concerns. We would appreciate most your cooperation and with your participation for this morning. Now, to start our activity for this morning, we would like now to have our Philippine national anthem, followed by the opening prayer.
Our Heavenly Father, the fount of all goodness and grace, the cause of wisdom, the source of intelligence, we welcome you, O Lord, to this auspicious gathering of your beloved, who continuously give you thanks for every opportunity to learn something new and become fruitful to the works of your creation. We humbly come to you, not because we are worthy, but because we find ourselves in need of you, who is our strength and our hope, to continue despite the challenges we face in health, prosperity, and our solidarity with one another. We pray that today's gathering, made possible by the grace of advancements in technology and social media, become successful in its endeavors, so we can offer it back to you as our humble offering to honor you, glorify you, and love you through our deeper connection with everyone. May we find bliss in today's session and become more productive children and co-creators of the earth. This we ask and pray through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Thank you very much. So once again, welcome to our webinar for this morning of the APSCU La Union chapter. Indeed, education that doesn't just make us smarter, it makes us whole as one association. Because we believe that working together is the best thing to do as one association. And that learning is a continuous process that we do over and over again. Just like last month, we had our seminar also, wherein we had a lot of participants. We had about 370 participants because I think, of course, hindi pa nag-start yung ating pasukan. Ngayon, I believe most of us has already opened the school year 2021-2022. Now, I am very honored to be your host for today's activity. I am Jeff Marlon Zamoranos, the APSCU Director for Secondary Education. And we are very much happy to be with you this morning. So to start our activity, may we request now our APSCU La Union Auditor, Ma'am Loretta Cipriaso, for the welcome remarks.
Okay, thank you, Sir Jeff. Good morning, our colleagues in the academy. You know, it's been a long time. It's more than, if I'm not mistaken, it's more than 1.5 years that we did not engage and we did not see each other, especially in person. Though there are those people whom we meet along the way, but as one family of APSCU and APS, there was few gatherings that brought us together. So I would like to say and recognize the presence of Dr. Cosares, our education supervisor in charge of private schools in San Fernando City Division, sir. Likewise, for our very dynamic president, who said yes right away when I offered this activity. Thank you very much, Dr. Ever Nones, for always being there to support all activities of our organization. And to all the other officers, Sir Eric, Dr. Bautista, Ma'am Alikna, of course, Ma'am Remy. If I cannot name you all, of course, we have Ma'am Ariola from CTC and all the rest. And most especially to all of you school heads who are around, all principals, and our frontliners, our teachers. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. I would like to start my talk on this passage that it came to my mind, which is connected to what Sir Jeff was telling us a while back. Success, I defined it as this. It is not measured on what you have achieved, nor on the numbers of medals, trophies, awards that you have received, but rather it is on how much you have shared to others and you have helped them. Yun po ang definition ng success sa akin. That is the very reason why right after the webinar that we have had last time, which was sponsored by one organization through APSCU, I messaged right away Dr. Ever, and I said, because as mentioned by Sir Jeff, during these times of pandemic, to survive, especially in our case, private schools, we need to help one another, or else not all of us can really go up, especially at these times. So I volunteered, you know, to share with you what we have practiced for the whole year. It has been shared to a lot of people already. We were commissioned last time by Pangasinan 1. The president of APSCU Pangasinan 1 came to us personally and asked our school to help on what we can do in their area. So we presented this module. We had 2 Fridays in Pangasinan. One Friday is for the CMAP, because according to them, they are not so clear with making CMAP. And the other Friday was on module writing. Syempre, doon, we charge a little. But, during the time that I talked with Dr. Cusares, I said, we want to share how we made our module because the superintendent and the other supervisors of our city division gives a thumbs up to what we had. And so we want to share it to all of you. And Dr. Cusares said, Ma'am, libre na lang kasi pandemic tayo ngayon. So, my dear colleagues, it's an honor to be with you this morning. And we would like to do it in a way that we did it in our school. We are a bit lucky during that time that when we already have the lockdown. It so happened that Robert and I were given the chance to be affiliated with Phoenix in doing some contributions to writing a book in mathematics and also in writing a teacher's guide. Then we were alerted on the first day of April to join all the pool of authors in a webinar, which is the module writing. So you know what? I told myself, because upon hearing the pronouncement of UNESCO that education must continue, and then nabuhayan ako. Sabi ko, wow, mayroon pa rin. We will still survive because our schools are our bread and butter. Yun po yung ikinabubuhay natin. So nabuhayan talaga ako and then answered prayer because we can now start working on the module. We did it throughout the year with our teachers. Now we want to share it to you, my dear friends. I know that the school has started. You have done yours also in your own way for last year, but we are not here to, of course, give you a template or prescribe a template because you have yours already. Why we are here is for us to learn from one another and to share the best practices that we have. So I encourage all the other schools to do the same. This is now the time that we share what we have, we share the best practices so that all of us will gonna survive this pandemic. So with that, thank you very much and welcome to our webinar. As I called up the Phoenix, I said, Phoenix, we are the one trying to promote because I know that the references we use are all the Phoenix books. So again, thank you, Ma'am Ever, for the opportunity. Magandang araw po.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Lori Sepriaso. Kaya ganun din po ang ginawa ko nung last time when I saw my name in our group chat. Right away, I said yes. Because I would say no for the thing that it will help us grow and become better as one association. It's the APSCU La Union chapter. And once again, thank you very much for all the efforts of our fellow officers, especially being approved by our very own president, Ma'am Everlita Nones. Because we believe that dealing with new normal, we humans are resilient. We can learn to thrive in our new normal if we have the mindset and the resources we need to adapt. Now, may we call on the woman of the hour for this day. Of course, no less than the president of the APSCU La Union chapter, Dr. Everlita Nones, for the inspirational message. Ma'am Ever?
Thank you, Sir Jeff. Dr. Edgar Cusares, our supervisor in charge of the private schools in the City Schools Division. Ma'am Lori Cipriaso, our very active officer who spearheads this webinar. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you for sharing your expertise on this topic to our other schools, to Phoenix Publishing House for sponsoring this webinar, to our able speakers who will be properly introduced later on, fellow APSCU officers and school administrators, our dear teachers, a blessed Friday morning to all of us. Good morning po sa ating lahat. This is the second series of webinars that our association has initiated through our active APSCU officers. First, through Sir Jeff and Sir Eric, and now through Ma'am Lori Sepriaso. We are fortunate that amid the fact that we belong to different schools, we are similar with our genuine desire to help every member school, especially in this time of pandemic. As an organization, we have proven that during best and even hard times, we are one. That by sharing best practices and resources, we strengthen our bond of camaraderie as schools. And most importantly, by caring for other schools, we are able to form our learners and deliver quality education. Indeed, by collaboration, better ideas are shared and better outputs and outcomes are achieved. This webinar is a product of collaboration and the common goal to improve learning. As educators, we are faced with challenging tasks, and with the new learning modality, with the new normal, we need to innovate, we need to adjust, and we need to keep on learning and growing to cope with the demands and challenges of the new normal. This webinar is a way for us to keep on growing and learning. Module making requires skills, patience, creativity, as well as dedication. With the presence of our speakers coming from BHC, we will be equipped with the necessary skills and knowledge needed to come up with relevant, meaningful, and substantial modules for our students or learners to use. As educators, we should always remember that we can only give much to our students if we have much to share to them. And it is only when we see improvements in them that we can truly say that we have been successful in molding, informing, or educating them. As educators, may we always be inspired to help every learner succeed and to reach his or her goal in life. And so let us take this opportunity to learn and to grow. Sabi nga nila, every day now is a special occasion because we don't know what will happen to us the next day. So we take every opportunity to grow, to learn, and may we always be inspired whatever the situation is that we have as educators right now. So again, happy learning and good morning to all.
Thank you
Sir
very
Jeff.
much, Ma'am Ever, for that very inspiring message. Especially, we know that leaders never stop learning. Yan si Ma'am Ever. Thank you, thank you. Now we move on for another inspirational message to be given to us, to one of the fighters of the private schools in the entire Region 1. And we are very proud of having him in the City Schools Division of San Fernando. No less than our very good friend, our crusader, once again, Dr. Edgardo Cosares, Private School Supervisors of City Schools of San Fernando.
Okay, thank you very much, Sir Jeff. So talaga ha, bibigyan kita ng A+ na average. Okay, so to the officers of the Association of Private Schools, Colleges, and Universities, La Union Chapter, headed by the President, and at the same time, the Superintendent of the Commission on Diocesan Schools, Dr. Eberlita Nones, and of course, to the officers of the Association of Private Schools in the city of San Fernando, headed by Mr. Danilo Romero, the principal of St. Louis College, Basic Education Schools, and at the same time, our new program coordinator of PIAC Region 1. To all school administrators of private institutions in the province of La Union, to our dear teachers who are virtually with us today, to BHC Educational Institution Incorporated, headed by the school director, Mrs. Loretta I. Cipriaso, other guests and visitors, a pleasant morning to all of us. And of course, I would like also to acknowledge our CID chief, dito kasi ako sa office, our Curriculum Implementation Division Chief, Dr. Agnes Kaka, of course, my fellow education program supervisors of Araling Palipunan, Sir Bernardo Rumbawa, of Filipino, Dr. Rowena Abad, and of course, MAPE, Ma'am Rosalina Villarreal, and of course, our secretary, Ms. Giselle. We know very well that the world is threatened with a worst nightmare, the COVID-19. And the outbreak and subsequent quarantine of communities has caused many households to lose their livelihood and income. Everyone is caught unprepared for the abrupt existence of the so-called new normal. The COVID-19 pandemic has shifted priorities. It has brought many challenges for all of us. And this is a period of survival for many businesses and consumers. And education is one of the most affected domains. The learners cannot go to school, and face-to-face classes is strictly prohibited. Everything seems unclear, and the future of our children is at risk. However, with the conviction of our Deputy Secretary, Leonor Magtolis Briones, that education must continue in spite of this invisible foe. Moreover, educators have to lay their school learning continuity plan with a specified learning delivery modality, which is in accordance with the policies and guidelines set by the Department of Education as well as the Interagency Task Force to reduce the vulnerability and transmission of the virus. Nevertheless, we Filipinos are known for our intangible cultural heritage such as resilience and bayanihan spirit in times of uncertainty. And we cannot just cower in a corner. We need to survive. We respond to the call. We heal as one, and we work as one. And the new normal may have limited physical interaction, but in no way did it hinder the unyielding commitment and drive of those at the front lines of education, you teachers. Even if the academic community is facing numerous challenges in preparation for this school year 2021-2022, countless teachers in the public and private schools remain passionate about providing quality basic education to their students. Your resilience, passion, and commitment during these trying times have become a source of inspiration for others. The collective efforts of the academic community, as well as the Filipino spirit of bayanihan, are what will ultimately make this school year a success, just like what happened in the previous school year. And lucky enough, my dear friends, that there are people who unselfishly and undoubtedly share their blessings and best practices for our fellow educators in the private schools, who might as well need some guidance and enlightenment on how to come up with a contextualized or localized learning material for our learners. And I deeply appreciate BHC Educational Institution Incorporated for initiating this free webinar on module writing to all private schools in the schools division of San Fernando City and La Union. Take note, my friends, it is free of charge. All we have to do is to participate in the discussion and collaborate with our fellow participants, even if this is a virtual activity. And of course, to listen attentively to the two high caliber and equally competent school administrators of the School of Excellence in the North, Mr. Robert Lelina, the grade school principal who is an author of mathematics book and teacher's guide for grade 1 to grade 6. He is also a module writer for grade 3 to grade 6 at Phoenix Publishing House. And Mr. Danilo Laroya Jr., the high school principal, was trained and commissioned to write standardized test items of the Global Resources for Assessment, Curriculum, and Evaluation under the Phoenix Publishing House. And these two school administrators who will be sharing their expertise today have been very active and who serve as coaches to national and international champions in the field of science and mathematics. Just recently, BAC Education Institution Incorporated was awarded as one of the best schools in the Philippines by the international champions in education. True enough that despite the numerous awards and recognitions received by the institution, BHC remains to be of service to fellow educators. I hope that you will enjoy the day's activity, and I also hope to have another webinar like this, or maybe another topic of interest, which will also be sponsored and initiated by other private schools in the province, as you share your best practices to other private learning institutions. So in behalf of the City Schools Division of San Fernando, of course, headed by our Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Rowena C. Banson, CESO 5, congratulations to APSCU, and congratulations to one and all. Keep safe, stay healthy, and God bless us all. Good morning again.
Thank you very much, Sir Cosares, and thank you for the A+. Because we really believe that your effort in making the private school as the partner of the DepEd is really there. So thank you very much for that, sir.
Yes, all the time, Sir Jeff.
Special regard also to our Chief Education Supervisor, Ma'am Agnes Kakap. I
Yes,
saw
Ma'am
Ma'am
Agnes is
Agnes
here,
yesterday
yeah.
during
Oo.
our local school board meeting. Yeah.
Yes. Oo, tama.
Okay. I believe still that knowledge is really power, information is liberating, education is the premise of progress in every society, in every association. So we will be learning a lot of things today, especially best practices. So now to acknowledge our participants, may we call on the principal of the Saints Sacred Heart School, and at the same time the APSCU La Union Chapter Secretary, Ma'am Remedios Sabado.
Thank you, Sir Jeff. Good morning to everyone. I am tasked to acknowledge the participants of this day's seminar. To the Schools Division's Superintendent of the City School Division, Dr. Edgar Cosares, to our President of the APSCU La Union Chapter, we have Dr. Everlita Nones, Ma'am Cipriaso, the auditor of the APSCU La Union Chapter, and at the same time, the initiator and the generous sharer of this seminar. We also acknowledge the other officers of the APSCU La Union Chapter officers. Likewise, I am happy and glad to acknowledge the different schools of the APSCU La Union. We have first, we have our participants from Christ the King College, both elementary and high school. A virtual applause to them. We have also participants from the Sikusat School. We have from Union Christian College. Let's give them a warm applause. We have participants from the Colegio de La Union in Nagilian. We have also participants from our private school in St. Louis College. We have also participants from BHC, where our speakers will be coming from. We have also a Go Kids School participants, headed by Ma'am Au, one of the officers of the APSCU. We have also participants from AMA colleges. We would like also to acknowledge the participants from ASAT School. We have also in Luxat. Likewise, the participants of the PCCast, headed by one of the APSCU officers also. We have Ma'am Ludivina Landingen. Our participants from FELCRIS, headed by our treasurer in the APSCU, Mrs. Marivic Fernandez. Also, the participants from FELCRIS Academy, headed by, I'm already done with that. We have from Gifted, I should say, headed by our MCs, Sir Jeff Samoranos, and at the same time, the APSCU officer in charge of the high school. We have also participants from the Hands of Hope. Likewise, we acknowledge the participants from Lord of Zion, headed by their principal, Ma'am Jonabel Tria, and the director. We have the vice, and at the same time, the vice president of APSCU, Sir Eric Tria. Are there other schools that I haven't mentioned? We have, of course, the diocesan schools. I almost forgot where I belong. Sorry. I acknowledge the participants from the Commission on Diocesan Schools, headed by our very own superintendent, and at the same time, the president of APSCU, Dr. Everlita Nones. And if ever I haven't mentioned some of the schools, my apology, and of course I will not mess the time that is given to our speakers, because the learnings that we will have today will be very important. With 204 participants on my screen, I acknowledge you all and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Remy. Akala ko may additional. Okay, so thank you very much to all of our participants who were properly introduced by our APSCU La Union Secretary, Ma'am Remedios Sabado. Okay, so now to introduce our guest speakers for this morning's activity, the free webinar on module writing, preschool to senior high school, a project of the APSCU La Union chapter in partnership with Phoenix Publishing House. May we have now our APSCU La Union auditor and at the same time the school director of BHC, Mrs. Loretta I. Cipriaso.
Okay, thank you once again. Actually, some of those things that I would like to say was already told by our supervisor, and with that, thank you, sir, for all those generous comments. Well, this morning I am happy to share with you my two principals, of course, as our speakers. And the first one, whom I'm going to describe for just a few words, we have the young-looking principal, despite of the fact that he'd been with us since we founded our school in 1995. He was raised locally, maybe here, but his trainings are mostly national and international. Being a coach, a journalist, a writer, and a lecturer. He's a graduate of DIMSU Midla Union Campus, cum laude, and obtained a very remarkable result in the PIBET during his time. He is an author of Phoenix Publishing House, and that paved the way why he got a training on module writing. I mentioned that a while back that we were given the chance to do so. Aside from those, in our school, he's regarded as famous to all of us, to parents, to teachers, to children, Why? Because of his teaching abilities and also all the things that he does for the school. Well, to mention a few, as coach, as trainer to our children, especially in journalism, in quiz bees and others. Other descriptions maybe will be added from you once you will listen to him and after his talk. Because it would be too long for me to enumerate all, especially all the awards and distinctions that he received. Friends in the academy, let us welcome young looking, as I have said, because look at him, still 16 up to now, Mr. Roberto Lilina. Pakita ka nga, brother. Okay, there he is. The next speaker who is going to deal with our high school teachers is also our newly promoted principal in the high school. He's a graduate of St. Louis College, magna cum laude. And just like Teacher Robert, we fondly call them teachers here, though they are already principals. He'd been in a lot of activities for the past 15 years in our school. And we are proud to tell you that he is a 3 times winning coach in the Metrobank Mathematics Challenge sponsored by DepEd, national level. A multi-awarded coach in the different areas like Robert. And he was so lucky that he's one of the 5 teachers that we got who was given a training on writing standardized test items and commissioned to write mathematics test items from grade 7 to grade 10 to where he worked with Ateneo, De La Salle, and DepEd Central Office experts. Their outputs are now being circulated and sold nationwide by the company who commissioned them. Friends, I am proud to present to you our troubleshooter in all our remote learning, because we know that our children, we let them learn by themselves now, for we cannot tell what world will they go in the future, just like what happened to us. So our remote learning expert, let us welcome Mr. Danilo Laroya. Okay. Thank you, and again, a pleasant morning to one and all.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Lori. Now, we will now be having our breakout sessions. It will be subdivided to LM and junior high school, right, Ma'am Lori?
Yeah.
Yes, so we will be seeing you after a while during our plenary session and presentation of outputs. And at the same time, I believe there will be prizes to be given away later on. So good luck and enjoy the fruitful learning session that you will be having for the entire webinar session. Thank you.
So Danny, what will happen? Do they have already assignments? Danny?
Hello po. I have already opened the breakout rooms. If they can see the feature under Zoom applications, may breakout room po doon.
Okay.
Nag-a-assign na yata ongoing, ma'am, yung
But if you are in the preschool and elementary level, kindly click or kindly choose po yung breakout room for LM and preschool. And if you are a high school or junior high school or senior high school teacher, kindly just choose the breakout room for junior high school and senior high school.
Okay.
Okay, so fellow
There-
educators, please key in the breakout room options.
Yeah. I think if you want to join the other officers, you may join. You may choose which one would you like to enter. As mentioned a while back, we are going to give prizes to Okay, the school with the biggest or the largest number of attendees, we have to
Yes,
check that with our attendance, filled out attendance. And then also the first registrants during the first day of registration will be getting 5 actually, just to check, okay, if they are around. The first one to register was Dr. Grace Hope of UCC. Congratulations. The first, the second one is from Sacred Heart, Ma'am Jana Gapus. The third, the fourth, and the fifth came from the same school, Asat Michelle, Ma'am Michelle Panis, Ma'am Caris Riswell Go, and Angelica Fangon. If you are present today, you won a certain amount, please tell us only your GCash number so that we can send the amount. Congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ang ganda pala ng mayroong prize. Sana meron din sa MC.
Okay. So, are we already okay, Teacher Danny and Teacher Robert?
Hello, everyone. There are still those who were not able to enter our breakout rooms. Kindly check on the breakout room feature below your screen, your Zoom screen, so that you would see and be able to choose the breakout room where you will enter. So, yun po. There are already participants who have already entered the breakout rooms. Due to the large volume of participants po kasi, we were not able to assign them individually. So I chose the option for the breakout room wherein the participants will be choosing the breakout room where they will be joining. So if you can
so that's
see,
good.
Medyo malaki pa tayo dito, sir, we still
Opo,
have 127.
Yes.
Yeah, we're waiting. But can you see now how many are in your classroom, Teacher Robert, in your room?
There are several. There are several already. However, I cannot count because
Okay.
things keep on coming. Names
Okay.
are appearing. I will
good.
now join doon sa breakout session for me. And may I know, before I'm going to go, may I know who is the facilitator?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. We forgot to announce the
Yes, ma'am.
Sir
Okay,
Jeff?
I will
Okay,
announce
announce,
our
Sir Jeff.
facilitators for the elementary. We have Mrs. Regina Alikna, the principal of St. Mary's Academy, Agoo. And for the junior high school and senior high school, we have Dr. Grace Pope Bautista, the principal of the Union Christian College Basic Education Department. Okay, we are already 104 on this particular room, and I believe most have already joined the other room. Ayan. I think may 100 na po sa ibang room. Kasi a while ago we had 205 participants.
Yes,
Okay,
po,
see you
sir.
later, Sir Danny.
Yes, po, sir. There are still
Thank you,
86 in the main room who are or who haven't entered the breakout rooms. Okay, so
$79 unassigned.
Just choose na lang. Those who
and-
are not assigned, just choose.
and parang offline po ata sila yung mga hindi pa po nakakapasok.
Ganyan pala, no? Noon nagtatakbuhan na lang tayo. Ngayon, medyo mahirap pala pumila sa ere. But anyway, I would like to announce the school with the biggest number of participants, but still we have to check this if they are all here. Kasi mayroon po tayong tatlo who are dalawa, who are competing with the prize. Okay, tatlo I should say. We have SMA Agoo. We will check on the attendance if you obtain that number of 17 participants. We will try to check. And then Colegio de la Union will check because you have said here 15. Baka malampasan po yung SMA, so we'll try to check. Likewise with UCC is 14. We'll try to check who among these three schools, and ASAP 14. Among these four schools got the biggest number of participants. So we will get the biggest share in our GCash. Congratulations. Okay, so Danny?
Yeah. There are still 61 who were not able to enter. So for the remaining participants who are still here in the main room, kindly click the breakout room feature in your Zoom screen, and then you click the room where you will be joining.
I leave for a while, Danny, kasi I have my
Yes.
class, okay?
Anyway, I think there are already a lot who have made it and who have already entered. So for those who haven't entered yet, because I am now leaving the main room and I will now be entering the breakout room. So I'll just see you there. Again, for those who haven't entered yet, kindly just click the breakout room feature and join the appropriate room. Thank you. See you later for the plenary and for the presentation. F, I'm already here na po.
Yes, Sir Danny. Take it
Okay.
away.
Okay. So hello and good morning, fellow educators, and welcome to this for this day on the conduct of the free webinar on module writing. And my task for today is on how we are going to make, write, or remake the modules that we already have, okay, in our respective schools and in our respective subjects. So again, good morning and welcome to the module writing webinar for junior high school and senior high school. Of course, we would like to thank APSCU La Union and in partnership with the Phoenix Publishing House for this opportunity. Okay, so if you can see in our Zoom screen, we have 5 parts for this webinar. First is, of course, our learning targets. So let us check on these learning targets. Okay. So the part 1 of our webinar for today would be our learning targets. And what would be the learning targets for this day? First, we would try to define a module, determine multi-modality of module delivery, and identify the parts of a module. Then we would provide a sample template on how to design a module tiered on multi-modalities as response to emergency distance learning. And third is to write or rewrite portions of a module. So that will be our learning targets. And so for the second part, it would now be the definition of module and the multimodality of module delivery. So what is then a module? So a module is an instructional material which is a portion of a whole stretch of curriculum in any subject in a particular grade level. So what does it mean? So for example, in Mathematics 7 curriculum, we do not make just one module for the whole Math 7 curriculum. So we divide it by quarter, and per quarter, we divide it by unit topics. So per unit topic, that is how we are going to write our module. So the basis of our chunking or segmenting of modules or learning competencies for our modules would be on the unit topics. It is a self-contained, self-sufficient, and self-implementing segment of instruction, which intends to provide learning experiences to the students. So it is self-contained because it has all the necessary things sufficient for the learning of a student, even just through a module. It is self-implementing because through the module, the students would be able to answer the worksheets just by reading the module. Third definition, it provides a sequential and clear flow of content and activities with processing questions through which learners may achieve the defined competence or objectives with minimal help from the teachers. So since it is sequential, of course, it should be in order. Okay, so later we will see the different parts of a module that those parts are the suggested parts that we are going to see or follow. Fourth, it provides formative assessment that are aligned to the objectives and an accompanying answer key or rubrics for immediate self-checking mechanism and better feedback. So the ideal module po kasi is that there should be an answer key of the formative assessment present in the module. Okay, but since as private schools, we do not just give a self-learning module. Hindi lang po module yung modality natin. We also give synchronous classes, etc. Therefore, some of our modules do not have the answer key to the activities. So it depends on how we deliver the content of the modules. Okay, and finally, a module promotes independent learning like in an individualized instruction mode because a module is self-learned. Therefore, it would help in the independent learning of the students. Now, what are the different multimodality of module delivery? So ito po. So let us see this one. I have actually gathered some modalities of different schools. And let us see if you have the same modality with what are presented here. First, we have a module and a book. Then this would be under printed module plus books, and that will be for modular distance learning or MDL. Second, we have modules, printed modules. We have PowerPoint presentations. We have video presentations which are offline. They are saved in a flash drive. And then we also have books. So in this modality, we have printed modules plus offline digital resources plus books is still under modular distance learning. Third one, we have printed modules. We have synchronous classes using Zoom or Google Meet. And then we have books. And this will be printed module plus synchronous classes plus books. And it will fall under blended distance learning or MDL plus ODL. And fourth, we have Google Classroom, Phoenix ARALinks, or Quipper as the LMS or learning management system. And then we have Zoom and Google Meet for the synchronous classes plus books. So here we have digital modules through the LMS. The digital modules were given through the LMS plus synchronous classes plus books. Okay, so based on these modalities that you can see here, may I ask which of the following were you able which of the following modalities does your school employ? May we know from our chat box kung 1, 2, 3, 4, or if not exactly the same as you can see here, pwede rin naman pong the nearest. Just a quick survey po. Which among the modalities po that we can see here in our screen is being employed by your school? So we have 1, 4, 3, 4, 2, and 4, 1. Okay. We have 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 4, 4. Okay, 4. So 3 and 4. So based on the survey and based on what we can see in our chat box, I think most of you use modalities 3 and 4. So for modality 3, printed module plus synchronous classes plus books. And for modality 4, we have digital module through the LMS, like siguro po sa Google Classroom or sa Phoenix ARALinks or sa Quipper, plus synchronous classes plus books. Okay, so mostly nasa online distance learning po tayo, di ba? Pero in our respective learning management system, we still have our own modules, tama po ba? So we still write our modules, etc. So what's the meaning of this? Whatever modality that we use in the delivery of our modules, we still follow the same principle. Be it a printed module or a digital module, we follow the principles or the features of writing modules. So for printed modules plus books, we should make sure that there are complete and detailed instructions and directions. We provide complete and detailed instructions and directions in printed modules plus books. Kapag MDL lang and purely printed module lang po tayo, nandoon po lahat ng mga instructions. Kasi wala na pong virtual synchronous classes, then lahat po nakalagay po sa printed module if you are employing printed modules plus books. By the way, if you can see, dinagdagan ko po ng books dito kasi syempre as private schools, we really need to be providing them also of their textbook. Di ba po? Okay. Next, for number 2, for printed module plus offline digital resources. So there are instructions on the printed modules on the use of the offline digital resources and books. So in our module, if we are using modality 2, we include instructions or directions on how we are going to use the offline digital resources. So hindi lang po natin hahayaan yung mga estudyante na uh, kung kailan nila bubuksan yung mga PowerPoint natin or yung mga videos, etc. So, nasa module din po, ilalagay po doon sa module yung instruction if they need to open the file on this PowerPoint or if they need to open the file of this video, which are saved in their flash drives. So, yon. For the third modality, printed module plus synchronous classes plus books, there are instructions on the schedule of synchronous classes and the use of books which are included in the module. So ilalagay po natin yung mga instruction natin kung kailan sila mag-attend ng synchronous classes, etc. so that the students will be guided. And finally, for digital module, this is just the same as modality 4. So modality 4 and modality 3 are similar actually. Ang nagkaiba nga lang, printed module ang modality 3 and digital module yung modality 4. So this is how we deliver our modules. Okay, so these are the four actual general module delivery aligned with a particular modality. We will see later on how we are going to integrate and how we are going to include the use of books and other resources in our modules. So let us now continue. So that is, so we are done with the second part of our webinar. We now proceed to the third part, which would be the different features of a module. So what are these features of module which were suggested by Phoenix? Okay, so let us see. I have divided the features of a module into two. First is on the content features, which will include the different parts of the module. And second is on the face features, kung ano po yung dapat na makita ng mga estudyante. So, under content features, the different parts of a module which were suggested by Phoenix would be the following. First one, we have the cover page. We have the module number, the title, and introduction. Second, we have the objectives, the learning targets or competencies, and the week number or lesson number. Third, we have the pre-assessment. Fourth, we have the overview. Fifth, which is the bulk of the module, we have the flow of learning or the learning process, which includes the discussion part of the module and the activities or the formative assessments. And finally, we have the references. So we will see one by one how we are going to write the following. And for the face features, these are just some reminders on how we are going to write our modules. First, we will use simple language that students can follow and perform with minimal help from the teachers. Second, it should be conversational. So when we say conversational, I think we would be using the second person pronoun you. You need to, you go to, okay, read the, so it's like giving a command. So when we make our modules, it's like the teacher talking to the students, but through the module. Third, it should also be aesthetically appealing. Of course, we also experience modules which are not really, which are sometimes which are not readable due to the aesthetics part of the module. Yung kumbaga yung parang puro text na lang siya, buong paragraph, puro text na lang, walang additional features like boxes, like bitmojis, highlights, etc. So as much as possible, we make our module aesthetically appealing. And fourth, it provides avenue for essential questions to be asked. So we also include the essential question that is present in our curriculum map in our module, so that there would also be an alignment. Okay, so let us now proceed. So let us see example cover page, module number, title, and introduction of a module. Okay, so these are some of the example cover page or sample cover page that we did. There you go. So we did this in Canva. So you can go to Canva, canva.com. If you have a licensed account, very good. But there's also a free account, and there's also a licensed account na free. So paano po yan? It's Canva for Education. You can have an account na Canva for Education that is free, but the features are almost similar to that of a licensed account. So you can make the cover page kahit napansin nyo, wala kaming similar template for the cover page because we want the creativity of every teacher to come out through the cover page pa lang. 'Di ba? Pag nakita po ng mga estudyante natin yung cover page, wow, ang ganda. Parang mae-engganyo silang magbasa nung module, 'di ba? So we have the cover page here for General Biology 1. We have the cover page for English 7, and this is my cover page for Math 7. O, simple lang po as compared po sa other cover page. So yeah, so this is a sample cover page. So nandito po yung subject. So we place here the subject, the module number, and also the title of that module. When we say title, it's actually the unit topic for that particular module. There you go. So these are the essential parts of the cover page. We have the subject name, we have the module number, and the module title that shows or that covers the unit topic. Okay, so let's proceed. This is an example introduction. So after the cover page, we will now be giving an introduction. So how did we write the introduction for our modules? Our guide in writing the introduction is on the big idea of the unit topic. What is the big idea? For example, in Math 7, sa sets, di ba, sets talk about groupings, well-defined groups, etc. So the big idea here is all about groups. For example, my essential question would be, how important is it to belong to a group? So something like that. So sa introduction po, doon na rin lalabas yung essential question po natin. Then from the introduction pa lang, there is already valuing, di ba? The essential question is also known as the focus question. Okay, so there you go. So in writing the introduction, it's like relating the unit topic to its real life applications, how the topic can be applied into real life situations. So that is for introduction. So that is the first part of the module, the cover page and the introduction. So right after the cover page, we have the introduction. And the introduction includes the real life applications of the unit topic plus the focus question or the essential question. So yun po. Okay, let's now proceed. So the title or the focus title is precise, it's clear, and based on the textbook segmentation of chapters or unit topic. We will see later why we need to use textbooks then in writing our modules. So that's it. So we are done with the first part of our module, the cover page, module number, title, and introduction. We now proceed to the second part, which are the objectives. the learning targets or the competencies, and the week number or lesson number in our modules. Okay, now on this part, I actually experienced a difficulty before on how am I going to chunk or segment the learning competencies uh, for a particular module. Kasi 'di ba, hindi naman po parang quarter 1 module 1, 'di ba? Hindi naman po ganon. Okay. So, what will be our basis on how we are going to group the learning competencies so that they will form or they will be part of one module. So, paano po natin gagawin 'yon? Some are wondering, ang module 1 ba, week 1 ba 'yon? Tas module 2, week 2 ba 'yon? Ganun po ba yung parang segmentation ng topics natin sa module? Or ang module 1 ba, weeks 1 and 2? Kasi after 2 weeks, delivery, ganun. Tas ang module 2 ba, weeks 3 and 4? Ganun po ba? Okay, so we'll try to see a scheme, okay? A scheme on how we're going to chunk, on how we're going to segment, or on how we are going to group, okay? Group learning competencies so that they will be part of one module. Okay. So, this is where we will be seeing the objectives or competencies. So as you can see in the module content, nakalagay dyan yung objectives. These are the objectives or the learning competencies that I got from the MELCs. Okay, so MELCs pa rin yung basis natin. So nakalagay lang siya sa ganitong format, but the question is how? How are we going to do it? Okay, so let me give you a suggested procedure on how you're going to determine learning competencies and topics to be included in a module para naman pare-parehas tayo ng gagawin. Hindi yung sa isang subject, ganito ang ginawa niya sa topics niya sa module, sa pangalawang subjects, ganito rin. First example in Mathematics 7. So my basis here, my basis is MELCs of Math 7. So this is for quarter 1. Kasi in quarter 1 for MELCs, okay? So ito yung sa math kasi we have what we call strand. Okay? May mga strands po tayo sa mathematics. So ano po yung mga strands sa mathematics? So sa mathematics, yung mga strands we have numbers, okay? Numbers and number sense. Okay, we have measurement. Okay, we have patterns and algebra. We have geometry. And we also have statistics and probability. Okay. Now, question. So, sa bawat strand ba dapat isang module yan? Or do we need still to segment the learning competencies? So this is how we divided the learning competencies. The module is based on the unit topic. So for example, for the first quarter, puro numbers and number sense yan sa MELCs. Pero sa numbers and number sense, may dalawang specific unit topics. We have sets and real numbers. That is why I have 2 modules for the first quarter. The first module is for sets and the second module is for real numbers. Okay, question. How will you know the unit topic? Saan natin aalamin ang unit topic? Diyan na papasok ang ating mga textbooks. Okay, we can identify the unit topics through our textbooks. So as you can see, napaka-importante pa rin, di ba? Nung textbook, lalo sa pagsulat ng modules. Hindi naman natin iniisip lang kung ano yung nilalagay natin sa module natin. We also base the content of our modules from our from our reference books or from our textbooks. But most importantly, we base the unit topic from our textbooks. So yon. So that's it. So sa Math 7, may dalawang modules ako because I based the module, the module or the chunking or segmentation of learning competencies on the unit topic. So yun po. Kaya sa sets, yung module 1 ko, we have weeks 1 and 2. Weeks 1 and 2 lang. So short lang siya talaga. Short lang kasi for 2 weeks lang. But for real numbers, kasi napakarami nito, module 2 covers weeks 3 to 9. So, saan ko binase ito? Saan ko binase yung mga weeks 1 and 2, weeks 3 to 9? Sa MELCS. Nasa MELCS yan. But not all subjects merong week number. May mga subjects na walang week number like English, like MAPE. So, paano nila gagawin yun? Let's see a sample later. Okay, so ganon. Now, for quarter 2, it has 2 strands. So sa MELCS ng Math 7, may dalawang strands sa quarter 2. Measurement and patterns in algebra. Walang unit topic sa measurement, okay? Kasi ano lang naman yan, very short lang siya. So for measurement, isang module na yon. And that will cover weeks 1 and 2. Now, for patterns in algebra, ito medyo marami-rami. So, I divided patterns in algebra into 3 modules. Okay, so what are those unit topics? Okay, unit topics in patterns in algebra. First, we have introduction to algebra. So ano tong introduction to algebra? So sa mga math teachers, ito yung language of algebra. Dito natin introduce yung mga terminology. Nandito na rin yung evaluating algebraic expressions. Nandito na rin yung translating verbal phrases to algebraic expressions, etc. Okay, so that is for introduction to algebra. And then, that will be for the second module of the second quarter. That will cover weeks 3 and 4. Tapos, I have the unit topic on polynomials. Okay? And that will be module number 3, which will cover weeks 5 to 7. Kasi marami itong polynomials. Kinds of polynomials, operations on polynomials, special products, etc. And finally, I have linear equations in one variable. So that will be my module 4 for the second quarter. That will cover weeks 8 to 9. So again, how do I segment the modules or the learning competencies to form one module? I based them, okay, I base it on the textbook. And ano yung meron? We have unit topics for textbook. Okay? So, ganun po. Let's have another example. Yan. So, this time naman, let's have an example for science, junior high school. Okay, so for science, kasi may strand din sila. Ang strand ng science, general science, biology, chemistry, physics, and earth and life science. Earth science, sorry. Earth and space pala, earth and space. So we have biology, chemistry, physics, and earth and space sa junior high school. So, sa Science 8, for first quarter, biology yung inuna. Actually, hindi naman kasi prerequisite ang mga strands sa science. So, you can choose kung ano doon yung uunahin mo. If for the first quarter, you want biology muna, pwede, biology. Ganun. Then physics, then chemistry, and so on. So, in biology strand of Science 8 quarter 1, there are 3 identified unit topics: the digestive system, cell division, and taxonomy. So these 3 unit topics will be the 3 modules as well for quarter 1. Okay. So suggestion lang naman to so that everything will be organized. So tinanong nila, ano ang module 1 mo? Ganon. Digestive system. So all about digestive system. What is your module 2 in quarter 1 of Science 8? All about cell division. What is your module 3 in Science 8 for the first quarter? That will be taxonomy. So there are 3 modules. So yun po. Now for General Biology 1 for senior high school, there are 4 identified unit topics divided into 2 quarters. So wala nang strand dito sa sa Gen Bio 1. Now for quarter 1 of Gen Bio 1, kasi 'di ba semestral ito, there are only 2 quarters. The 2 identified unit topics would be this one, Intro to Cytology and Biochemistry. So the Intro to Cytology is the first module. And the second module would be the unit topic on biochemistry. So the intro to cytology will cover weeks 1 to 4, and biochemistry will cover weeks 5 to 7. And for the second quarter of this one, okay, second quarter of Gen Bio, we have the cell cycle and bioenergetics. So the cell cycle is module 1 and bioenergetics is module 2. So cell cycle will cover weeks 1 to 4 and the bioenergetics will cover okay, ayan. Bioenergetics is module 2 that will cover weeks 5 to 7. Okay. So yun po. Now, again, if you can actually identify the unit topics, or as an experienced teacher, let's say, kayo na mismo pwede nyo ma-identify kung ano dapat yung mga pagsasamahin sa isang module, di po ba? So yon. Then the textbook will just be our guide on identifying the unit topics. To take note, ang suggested procedure in determining learning competencies, module number corresponds to the unit topic. So one module, one unit topic. So yeah. Okay, another example for TLE 7. So yeah, for TLE 7, so these are the different unit topics. I think cookery, cookery. So kitchen tools and equipment. So that is one module because that's one unit topic. Second module is on mensuration. Okay, and then the third module is on occupational health and safety procedures. So for the first quarter in TLE 7, there are 3 modules. Okay, so depende yun sa unit topic. And then for English 9, ito sa English 9. So the English teacher, siguro nagulat kayo sa MELCs ng English kasi ang daming natanggal, di ba? So kunwari ito sa quarter 1. Sa quarter 1 ng English 9, 3 lang ang learning competencies doon. Hindi rin na-divide kung ilang weeks, hindi rin sinabi doon kung week 1 ba to, week 2 ba to, week 3, etc. So, it depends on you na, okay, as a teacher. You need to know what topic is being manifested in that particular learning competency. So, when I asked our English teacher, so he said that there are 3 unit topics which will form 3 modules for the first quarter of English 9. First is modals, that will be module 1. Weeks 1 to 2. Okay. Second is conditionals, that is for module 2, and that will cover weeks 3 to 4. And third is styles of communication, that is module 3, okay, covering weeks 5 to 7. So yon. Okay, so that's it. You may also use the textbook, okay? You may also use the textbook as your guide in identifying unit topics for your modules.
25
Okay,
may isa.
so let's continue. All right, there you go. Another one, for example, here in general mathematics. Okay, so for general mathematics, we have quarter 1 and quarter 2. Sa MELCs kasi, ang quarter 1, functions. Lahat about functions. Then for quarter 2, business math and logic. So sa quarter 1, I divided the topics into three unit topics. We have functions, which includes operations on functions, piecewise functions, word problems on functions, and then another module is on rational functions kasi marami to. And then third module is on exponential and logarithmic functions. So yon. And for quarter 2, we have business mathematics and logic. So yan na siya. Ngayon, this is one of the problems that teachers encounter, okay, in the modules. Kasi the week number also depends on the institution. 'Di ba? So, kunyari yung isang question nyo, bakit sa MELCs hanggang week 9? Pero yung sa school, kunyari sa amin, hanggang week 7 lang kami allowed. Ganon. 'Di ba? So anong gagawin natin? O kaya minsan hanggang week 6 lang or sometimes week 8. Hindi na ba natin i-discuss itong week 9 ng module? Actually, if binigay niyo naman na kasi yung module for week 7 to 9 tapos hanggang 8 lang kayo, nandoon naman na yun eh, 'di ba? So pwede niyo nang the students may do it asynchronously, basahin na nila yung yung content ng week 9 module para ma-cover pa rin lahat, 'di ba? So kumbaga ang advantage ng modular, if sa face-to-face dati may mga hindi tayo natatapos na topics kasi syempre we want more exercises for the students, etc. But since ngayon nabawasan naman na yung MELCs, na ilalagay natin lahat, 'di ba? Na ilalagay natin lahat yung mga learning competencies na nasa MELC sa modules. So kumbaga natatapos natin yung buong curriculum guide ng isang particular subject through the modules. So yon. So yung mga estudyante wala naman na silang reason para sabihing hindi naman siya na-discuss during the synchronous class because we have the self-learning modules. So yan. Okay, so this is just a suggested procedure. This is not imposed, okay? This is a suggested procedure on how you're going to chunk, on how you're going to segment, okay, or divide the learning competencies that will be under one module, another module, and so on. So how are we going to do it? By aligning the module number into the unit topic. So if there are 3 unit topics, we have 3 modules in 1 quarter. So ganun po. Okay, so let's now proceed. So we are done with the cover page, module number, title, and introduction. And we are now done with the objectives, learning targets, competencies, and week number or lesson. Okay, we now proceed to the third and the fourth one, pre-assessment and overview or legend. Pinagsama ko to because in your module, you can actually switch them, okay? You can interchange the order. Just like what we said a while ago, a module is sequential. So sunod-sunod dapat siya. Hindi pwedeng pagbalik ta rin, hindi pwedeng mauna ang learning process before the objectives, etc. Okay? But for the pre-assessment and for the overview or legend, we can interchange them. So what are examples of pre-assessment and overview or legend? So here, Yung module legend is actually the parts of the module, okay, with descriptions. So for example, if the students saw pre-assessment, so meron kayong description doon, this is the part of the module where you will have a diagnostic test, okay? Your prior knowledge will be tested, something like that. So another one, pag may nilagay kayong explore, so this is the part of the module where you will discover what the lesson is all about. Then pag may nilagay kayong engage, this is the part of the module where you will engage yourself in the lesson by delving into the examples and solutions to the problem. Okay. So ganon. And next, pag may nilagay kayong exercise, so this is the part of the module where you apply what you have learned in the lesson through exercises. And if you place experience, this is the part of the module where you apply what you have learned in real life situations. This is just my own, okay, my own name or title of the different parts of a module. You can have your own. Okay? Pwede nyo namang i-follow yung 3 I's, introduction, interaction, integration, or pwede naman yung explore, firm up, deepen, transfer. Pwede rin naman yon. Okay? So it's up to you, or it's up to your institution if you want to have a similar template on how you will do this. Okay? So that's it. So we have the module legend and we have the pre-assessment. So these two can switch, can interchange. For pre-assessment, actually it is suggested that it will come in the form of multiple choices. So yun yung sa pre-assessment. It is suggested that the pre-assessment should be in multiple choices. Since wala pa naman silang alam about the topic. So that's it. You'll just have to diagnose. Okay, so that's it. So we are done with cover page, module number, title, and introduction. And we are done with objectives, learning targets, competencies, and week number or lesson number. We are done with pre-assessment and overview or legend. We will now see the bulk of the module, which is the part on the flow of learning or the learning process. So ano ba ang dapat nilalaman ng bulk ng modules natin? Ito na may pinakamaraming pages sa module natin. So let us see. Okay, so there you go. These are some of the reminders in writing the flow of learning or the learning process in your module. There are two general parts. We have the discussion and we have the activity or formative assessment. Let us first have the discussion part. Okay. I used explore and engage. So yun po ang ginamit ko, explore and engage. So in the discussion part, the written discussion in the module is parallel to what the teacher will say in the class. More conversational, simplified, and more direct for module purposes. So dito, it's like you, the teacher, is talking to the students through the module. So parang estudyante, kausap niya lang yung module niya. Pero parang dapat the student should have a feeling that the teacher is talking to him or her. Because the module is conversational. So yun dapat yung dating ng module. Then, this is a sample part, or these are sample parts for the discussion, explore and engage. Okay, pwede namang palitan nyo yan. Pwede namang gawin yung tatlo kung tatlo yung discussion parts nyo. But for me, I just used explore and engage. Explore is on the introduction of the lesson itself and engage is on the lesson proper. So yan. These are additional features of a module. Please take note of this. If you are using multi-modality, if you are using not just the printed module or the digital module, and you have other ways of delivering instruction, aside from the lesson itself, the discussion part may include special features. First, we know that through distance learning kasi, di ba, we encourage the parents to be partners in the learning of their children. Sometimes we let the parents teach the children, but of course, hindi yung sila yung sasagot ng worksheets. We let the parents teach the children or help the children understand their modules. That is why we should also include first instruction to parents or guardians. So in the module or in between the modules, maglalagay po tayo doon ng part na instruction to parents or guardians. Para namang merong part doon yung parents. Although we know that in private schools there are working parents, a lot of working parents. Their kuya or ate may help them or during night, pwedeng ipakita ng anak sa magulang yung instruction na yun. Okay. Second, we also include as a special part the textbook title and page number for examples and for more examples and explanation of the lesson. So here we are now trying to integrate the use of the textbook, okay, in the learning process of the children through the module. So sa module, i-include natin kung ano doon yung page number na kailangan nilang basahin as additional examples or explanation. And third, if you conduct synchronous classes, you also include in your module the schedule of your synchronous classes if your synchronous classes are scheduled. Okay. Pag hindi naman, kahit wag na. That is only for those who conduct synchronous classes. And finally, number 4, if you give online resources or online references on the printed module, instead of providing the link to the module, kasi nga yung mga bata hindi naman nila makiklik yung link sa module kasi papel naman yun, you can provide the QR code of that link. Paano gawin tong QR code? Napaka-simple lang ito. You go to Google, you just type QR code generator. I-type nyo lang yun, QR code generator. Then madedirect na kayo sa mga QR code generators. Then you just paste the link. Then lalabas na yung QR code. Then download. Ayun na. So instead of typing or copying the link and placing it on the printed module, you may now place the QR code. You may now insert the QR code of the online reference of your lesson on your module. So yon. So ito na yung bago ngayon. Ngayon, paano gagawin ng mga bata yon? Anong gagawin nila? Paano nila i-access rather? How will they access the QR code? It's very simple. If they are using iPhone or Android, i-open lang nila yung camera, itutok lang nila yung camera ng phone nila sa may QR code, then may magpa-pop up na doon. Then i-click na nila yon. Then yun na, mapupunta na sila sa link or sa site rather. Again, so instead of placing the link of the online resources on the printed module kasi mahaba yun, alangan itatype pa nila, you can just place the QR code. Okay, and then for the QR code, they will just scan it using the cameras of their phones. If iPhone or Android, then they will be directed na to the site. As simple as that. So yun. So I think that's the purpose of the QR code naman eh. It's for printed materials, diba? But if it is online, if they will access the link online, yung link na mismo ang ibigay natin. Kasi isang click na lang yun. Okay, so these are some of the additional parts, okay? Additional parts as special features of the discussion part of our module. So meron tayong instruction to parents or guardians. Nandiyan na rin yung textbook, kung anong page yung pupuntahan nila. Nandiyan na rin yung schedule of synchronous classes and the online references. So let's have an example. So this is an example explore part. So yan. In my module on sets, grade 7, I have here the introduction to sets. So I placed here pictures of the bitmojis of the teacher. I placed here odd and even numbers. I have here a collection of math materials. I have here the collection of the colors of a rainbow. So from the given introduction, kasi tinanong ko doon, consider the following groups. Give a name or description for each group below. Then my process question for the introduction or explore part is, what common idea is present among the pictures above? Then second, how helpful are sets in our daily lives? Okay? So ganun po. And then we now have the engage part. Diretso na siya sa engage. Another one for explore, we have for English 10. I think this is for English 10. So as we progress in our discussion, always remember that they are all interconnected, and one skill in this discussion will be used in the next lesson. Now read the following terms and classify them under prose or poetry. So yeah. So that is for explore. So parang may activity rin yung mga estudyante. Next one. So another type of explore for general mathematics. So I presented a table that will differentiate a function from not a function. So consider the table below, illustrating examples of a function and not a function. Then the left column shows examples of functions and the right column shows non-examples of functions. Then I will let them deduce. So ito, para siyang sa face-to-face, yung ganitong exploration activity, para siya yung tinatawag nating concept attainment strategy. Di ba po kapag face-to-face, sa start ng ating klase, we employ concept attainment strategy wherein we present examples, we also present non-examples. Then we present a group of examples, then the students will identify which are examples and which are non-examples. And from the examples, they will now give the concept and the meaning of that concept or description of that concept. So ganun po. So para siyang concept attainment strategy sa face-to-face, which when transformed into a module, nasa exploration part na siya. So yun. This is another exploration part in Mathematics 10. So I presented different puzzles. Ayan. Tapos may question ako sa baba. What common idea is present among the puzzles above? So yun. So the students will write their patterns, etc. So that's it. Then I gave examples of real life examples of patterns. So yung golden ratio, yung galaxy, and this is the graph of the COVID-19 cases in our country. So yan. So nag-integrate din tayo ng actual or recent news. So that's for the exploration or explore part. Let's now proceed to the engage part. Explore pa rin pala ito. So another type of explore dito, I think this is in pre-calculus. The teacher used the AR guide or the anticipation reaction guide. So sa anticipation reaction guide, nakalagay dyan yung gagawin nila. So i-accomplish na tong anticipation, then I think later na tong reaction. So yun. So you can have the explore part using the anticipation or anticipation reaction guide. Okay, then here, ito, sa Earth and Life Science to. So ano yung ginawa sa explore part? The teacher placed two links. Although okay lang to kasi short naman yung link, okay? But it would be better if the links are given through the QR code na lang. Or pwedeng dalawa. May link na shortened tapos may QR code din. So all links that are present in the printed module, you may transform them into a QR code already. Okay? Pero wag naman puro QR code na lang tayo. Baka puro QR code na yung module natin. Wala na tayong words. Okay? Parang ang ginawa kasi gusto niyo ng video na panonoorin ng mga estudyante, baka puro QR code na lang yung printed module natin. So wag naman ganoon, okay? So that's it. So let's proceed to the engage part. Ito. So please take note of this, guys. In the engage part, so I have the lesson itself. Okay, so yeah, lesson itself yan. After the lesson proper, in the engage, dito na papasok yung mga special features that I said a while ago. First, ito, did you
10, guys. So, yan. So for additional explanation and clarifications, attend our synchronous classes every Thursdays and Fridays from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Okay. So, ano yung kanina? Schedule of synchronous classes? Check. Nakalagay. After na-engage na. Second, for more examples and explanations on the definition of sets, you may check on your textbook, Next Century Mathematics Second Edition by Phoenix Publishing House, pages 2 to 3. So ano ulit yung kanina? Yung special features, use of textbook. Check. Okay. Finally, instruction to parents or guardians. Ito na, yung instruction to parents or guardians. First, ito, I categorize the instruction into 4. Una, content, sa content of module. So, nilagay ko dito, in the study of sets, please emphasize on your child the importance of having a group of friends and that these groups should be properly chosen that will consider the best interests of everybody. So, it will be their parents who will tell the children the importance of having groups, and it's on the part of the children who will realize that friends should be chosen properly. So yun. Second, instruction to parents or guardians, synchronous classes. So here sabi, kindly monitor your child in his or her attendance of the synchronous classes. Make sure he wakes up early and in proper uniform. Kasi we require students to be in proper uniform as well. But twice a week lang po. So yun. So in their synchronous classes, they should wake up early kasi 8 o'clock po yung start ng synchronous classes namin. Then dapat before 8 gising na sila. So if the parents are working, they may monitor their children through chat, etc. So yun. Third, textbook. So instruction to parents or guardians to kindly monitor your child on the use of his textbook for more examples and explanations. And finally, number 4, worksheets. Kindly review the completeness of the entries on the worksheet of your child. So yan. So instruction to parents or guardians, check. Okay. Wala ako ditong online references. Hindi ko nilagay. But if you have, you can place the QR code of your online references after engage. So yon. Okay. So let's continue. We now proceed to the activity part of the module. So tapos na tayo kanina sa may discussion part that includes explore and engage, or you may have your own steps. Let us now proceed to the activity or formative assessment. So in my module, I labeled the activity as exercise and experience. So what are the activities? So these are opportunities for the students to apply or practice the skills taught by the teacher through the module. Okay, so the activities may be given to the students which they will answer on. Okay, so saan nila sasagutan yung mga activities? So pwede sa module worksheets, yung kasama ng module, sa last ng module, yung worksheet na yun. Second, pwede rin sa textbook. Ang ginagawa ko, the questions will be coming from the textbook, but the answers will be placed on the worksheet. I will provide you sample worksheet template later na kung saan yung questions galing sa book. And third, online activities like Google Form, Desmos, or through the LMS like Canvas, etc. Kasi sa Canvas na LMS, meron na dong quiz, ganon. Given as a link or as a QR code. So dun sa module, pag printed module po tayo, and may ipapasagot po tayong online, we can give them the link, shortened link, or the QR code. Yan po. And finally, sa worksheet natin, sa last part ng worksheet natin, we should also place the following. First, punctuality grade. Alam naman po natin ngayon na sa submission ng module, ang daming late. Okay. Let's try to impose a punctuality grade, siguro, so that the students will be responsible. Diba? Second, honor code. Ano tong honor code na to? The honor code is on the part of the parents. Okay, we cannot really do away of this situation wherein parents are the ones answering their modules, diba? So let's try to have an honor code for every worksheet that they will answer. We will see a sample honor code later. And third is the feedback form. Okay, let's see. So ito sample exercises. So yan. So for English, ayan, pwedeng may choices sila. Ayan. Pwede rin namang yung pre-assessment mo, magbigay ka ng similar but not exactly the same sa activities. Pwede rin yun, di ba? So the students would compare. And this is a sample pre-assessment exercises for Gen Math. Ito sa English 9, ito sa General Mathematics. So in math, sa activity part, hindi kami talaga nagbibigay ng multiple choices. Talagang yung with full solution. So yan. To reduce copying, di ba? Kasi syempre kung sabi natin magagaling na tayo sa technology, hindi natin alam mas magagaling pa yung mga bata. They have means, di ba? They have means. Okay, let's proceed. So sample exercises ito or assessment. So yan, okay, another sample exercises or assessment. Actually, minamaximize namin into 3 pages ang exercises or assessment and minimum of 1 page, maximum of 3 pages for a particular module. Ayan. And ito yung sinasabi ko kanina. This is a sample assessment na yung questions galing sa book. Okay, pero yung answer sheet part ng module. So kunwari ito, short answer test, direction, solve the following book exercises. Write your answers only on this space. So fractions, mental math, letters A, B, and C, page 70, next century mathematics book. So nakalagay dyan yung page at saka yung number. So sa number ito, ibig sabihin, numbers 1 to 13. Sa page 70, may numbers 14 to 22. Meron ding numbers 23 to 30 and so on. So pwede natin gawin ito para ma-maximize din nila yung gamit ng textbook nila. Okay, so this is a sample formative assessment using the textbook. Okay, and okay, ito na ang ating punctuality grade and honor code. So let's try to see a sample punctuality grade. Ito yung ginagamit namin, punctuality grade. So for example, by the way, saan madadagdag itong punctuality grade? Magiging part siya ng total ng worksheet ng module na yon. So sa punctuality grade, for example, if the total number of points for a particular module is, let's say, 70 points, plus 10 for the punctuality grade, so 80 na siya. Okay, so submitted the worksheets on due date, 10 points. Submitted the worksheets 1 day after due date, 8 points. Submitted the worksheets 2 days after due date, 6 points. Submitted the worksheets 3 days after due date, 4 points. Submitted the worksheets 4 days after due date, 2 points. Submitted the worksheet 5 days after due date, 1 point. Submitted the worksheet 6 or more days after due date, 0. So no point. Sa punctuality lang yan ha. Punctuality grade, hindi yung score niya sa buong worksheet. Okay? So it's just on the punctuality grade. And for the honor code, ito. So for the honor code, it's like a certification from the parents, okay, to be accomplished by the parents. So that goes this way. This is to certify that my child answered this worksheet with honesty and integrity, and that as a parent or guardian, my role, take note, that as a parent or guardian, my role is limited to the review of the completeness of the entries of this worksheet. So let us emphasize on our parents that their role as a parent sa pagsagot ng worksheet is limited only to the review of the completeness. of the entries. So kapag may kulang, yan, ipasagot pa rin na sa mga bata, etc. So let us emphasize to our students the value of honesty, especially during this distance learning. So, and then the parents will sign, okay, will place their names and sign above. So that's it. Okay, so that is now for our formative assessment or activities. This is a sample parent feedback form. Okay, so for the feedback form, pwedeng ano to, every week 1 and 2, pwedeng every month, pwedeng every quarter. So yan. So it depends on your institution. So a sample parent feedback form is like this one. So your child's learning journey for the week or for the month or for the quarter is done. But before we conclude our trip, let us have a sample feedback coming from you, our dear parents. For this section, please answer the following feedback form to assess your child's overall learning towards attaining the important goals for the week, for the month, or for the quarter. So how will I give my impression? So i-click lang, i-check lang nila yung great, good, quite good. So bawat criterion may description. So sa English 8, i-check lang nila kung great, good, quite good, etc. Then comments and suggestions. So ito, i-collate ng advisor. Then isa-summarize niya, then ibibigay niya yung summarized comments sa mga subject teachers for improvement. So that's it. Okay, so ayan na siya. So we have already finished cover page, objectives, pre-assessment, overview, and the bulk of the module. We have the flow of learning. We now proceed to the references. Of course, just like what I said a while ago, hindi naman nanggagaling talaga sa atin lang yung nilalagay natin sa module. We also base, okay, the content of our module from different references. So sample references would be like this. I think this uses the APA citation. So Mercado, JP, Reyes, NV, Esparago, MS, etc. Okay? Kapag maraming authors, you just place the 7, sabi, as suggested, 7 authors. So first 6, then ... yung last, ganon, pwede yun. So pag marami silang authors, 7 lang, maximum 7 authors lang ilalagay. Okay, so this is a sample list of references. Siyempre puro Phoenix yan, di ba? Kasi we are in participation and collaboration with Phoenix Publishing House. So that's how we place the references. So the references, sa last na lang yon. Pwede naman sa module nyo, ganito, ang magkakasama module, last part yung reference, tapos pwedeng ihiwalay yung worksheets. Pwedeng ganon. So i-clip or i-stapleran yung buong module, last part is the references, and loose sheets na lang yung mga worksheets. Pwede rin yun. Kasi yun lang naman yung isasubmit nila pabalik sa school, di ba? Worksheet lang naman. The module, maiwan sa kanila. For us, private schools Pero sa public kasi, pinabalik nila lahat. The module, tapos sa separate paper nila, nilalagay yung mga sagot. Okay, so I think we are already done with the different content features, and I'm also done with the different phase features. Now, as we write our own modules, as we edit our own modules, we always consider the 4 M's. So actually, I think most of you know this already. These 4 M's is actually the key ingredients for a successful learning. So ano ba itong mga 4 M's na to? So let's see. Okay. First M. So wait lang. Okay. Yeah. Wait lang, guys. Okay. First M is what we call meaningful. Hindi na siya nag-ano. What do we mean by meaningful? Okay. Meaningful modules do much more than present information to learners. Okay, instead they actively engage the learner in meaningful in meaning making. Okay, so as what Michael Allen says, good learning experiences aren't just about facts. Okay, they are about becoming a more proficient, capable, and valuable person. So one of the most common mistakes in module writing is assuming. Ayan. So module writers forget that what common knowledge to them may be unknown for the students. Kung ano yung alam natin, posibleng hindi pa alam ng mga estudyante yun. So this is a good way to make sure the learner is not lost before he or she begins. Okay. So it is important that we need to take a step back, okay, and change focus. So here, the students must find meaning, okay, meaning or the meaning of the lesson on how they can apply it to their real life situations. The second M here is memorable. So we have the first one, meaning meaningful. Second one is memorable. So when we say memorable, your module should create like a lasting impact to the learners. Parang nag-iwan dapat ng imprint sa mga learners. Okay? So that's for memorable. Then the third one is motivational. Okay, so while you can make a person learn, you can create an environment that is more contributive to learning. Okay, you can do this by crushing demotivational factors. You can insert encouraging positive emotions such as realizations, fulfillment, and satisfaction that will make learners want to invest more mental effort to a specific learning activity. Okay, so if we will combine these three, meaningful, memorable, and motivational, we would be attaining the fourth one, which is measurable. We would be attaining a measurable result, even if it's just modular distance learning. If we employ the three M's, then we would be getting measurable results. So that's the four M's in module making. So the lecture is complete. Thank you very much for listening, guys. And it's now time for our write shop. Although, if we will look into the time, 11:29 na, mag-11:30 na siya. Okay, so let's try to see this one. Ganito na lang, you will not be writing a module. Rather, you may edit your module. You may have, you may use your existing module, okay, and edit them. Okay, you edit them employing the suggested parts or additional features of the module. So for example, ito lang, doon lang tayo sa discussion tsaka activity. On the discussion part, i-label natin yung ano natin, yung module natin, if it is explore, engage, etc. Or you may use your own. Then let's include instruction to parents or guardians. Then we also include instruction on the use of the textbook. Then we also include them the schedule of the synchronous classes and the shortened link or the QR code for online references if we have. So that will be for the discussion parts. We include the following. And then, so for the activities naman, let's try to include activities coming from the textbook. Okay, lagyan natin yung part na merong activities na manggagaling sa textbook pero yung sagot sa module din. Then let's include also punctuality grade, okay, honor code, and the feedback form. Okay, so that will be for the write shop. And then may I ask from the group who would like to share later in our plenary their edited modules? Meron po ba dito yung gustong mag-share later? volunteer po, volunteer. We are we are here to learn from each other. Baka you have special features also on your modules which were not presented earlier, which all of us also do not know, okay, that you could share as well. Meron po ba dito sa atin? Anybody po? If there are no volunteers, nandito po ba si Dr. Grace Bautista po? Dr. Grace Hope, our facilitator first.
Yes, sir.
Ay, hello ma'am. Ma'am, if there were no volunteers po, pwede po kayo na lang po yung mag-ano po, presenters. Mag-assign po.
Ma'am Grace Molina, meron kayong module, ano?
Ay, si Engineer Grace.
Yes.
Sige,
Baka pwede natin makita.
Sir Dan, i-present ko na lang yung isang module namin.
Yes.
Similar to sa
Nag-close na ata yung ano. Okay, so our presenter later would be Engineer Grace po. May we have another presenter from the high school?
Ano ba yan? Naka-full naman sa
Aside from Engineer Grace, do we have other presenters po for high school? Dr. Grace Hope po.
Okay lang, sir, na konti lang. Kasi konti na lang.
Yes po,
yung
kahit.
present.
Okay. Sige po, sige po.
Although,
Sir,
sir,
excuse me, sir.
tsaka yung ano sa Mount Zion,
Madimot.
natin.
Namaga yung parts.
Teacher Danny, we have limited.
Yes, sure.
We have limited our presenters to 3
Okay.
only.
For elementary, there are 3 presenters. So for high school, kahit 2 na lang po siguro.
Hello, sir. May I have a question?
Yes po, ma'am.
Sir Danny, can we include also a one-page icon before in the module as guide for learners? Like, for example, a book na naka-open. And then you will describe that book, pag makita ng mga bata, ibig sabihin, they will be reading the discussion.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That would be great also.
Yes, sir. A pencil, a teacher holding a pencil. Meaning to say, pag nakita ng bata, self-test yan.
Yes po. Yes po. But the icons should be properly described in the module
Yes, sir.
legend po.
Yes.
So,
Sure, sir.
yes po.
I-describe kung
Yes, po, ma'am.
ano-ano ang mga modules na nandyan.
Yes, ma'am.
And it will be consistent from the beginning of the module up to the end.
Oh,
Para
yes po.
ang pencil, ay baka sa mag-exam ako, may assessment. Pag
Yes,
nakita
ma'am.
in book, I will read the discussion. Parang ganon. Can we have a one page
Yes, one page.
for the icons?
Yes po, ma'am. One
Pwede, sir.
page of your module can be allotted for the module legend. Yes po.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
If I may add, Teacher Danny,
Yes po, sure.
that's where you're going to put your overview, right?
Yes po. Yes.
Yung overview part
Yes.
yun.
Yes. Another one, sir. Can we add also a post test because we have the pre-assessment?
Yes, ma'am. I mentioned a while ago your pre-assessment could also be reflected in the post-assessment or activities, but the items should not be exactly the same.
Yes.
But they should follow the same learning competencies.
Yes, sir. Yes. The same.
Learning
Pero
competencies.
he did disarrange.
Yes.
Parang ganun.
Yes.
Okay. So, thank you, sir.
Okay, so I think we are now ready for the presentation. May we have Teacher Robert for the first set of presentations po for the elementary.
Ay, hindi.
By the way, si Ma'am Evelyn Lopico po at ang ating second presenter for high school. Or somebody po from your group po.
Marami kasi yun ang pinapagawa namin sa DepEd noon.
Yes.
Wala ako ngayon. I'm here
Yes.
in Habila. I'm here in Habila, sir.
Okay po.
The house of my daughter.
But,
So, I did not bring any.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Sige po.
Sir Danny, would you know if everyone is already back in the main room?
Yes, sure. Actually, we are still discussing a while ago who will be the representers when the breakout room closed. Kaya
Sorry.
tinuloy.
I messaged kasi earlier sa iyo.
Yeah, tinuloy namin dito, Chair. Yun kaya.
Okay.
So I think everybody is already present since the breakout rooms are already closed po. Okay, Chair Robert, may we now have the presentation?
The first one is from SLC. Ma'am Regina, what's the complete name of Sir Clark?
Hindi ko rin alam. Yes.
Clark of SLC.
Clark, please. So we have 3 presenters from the elementary department, sir. We have Sir Carl, Ma'am Lailani, and Ma'am Livia from Pugo Catholic School. So may we ask the first speaker from St. Louis University, Sir Carl, please. Sir Carl.
Good morning po.
Okay.
Okay, let me just share my screen po. Okay, there you go. So, good morning again, dear teachers. So, sa akin po, ipapresent ko po yung module na we prepare sa St. Louis College po. Wherein, dito po yung unang markahan na pinapakita namin yung front page po. At the same time, after this front page, dito po papasok yung title of the module. And kung ano yung pinapakita nila, for example, ano ba yung focus niya, like pagbasa, and at the same time yung wika. Then after that one, meron pong objectives na nakalaan para sa mga bata po. And kung saan nila nakukuha saan namin pinagbasehan ang ating modules. So, bago magsimula ang lahat, pinapakilala ng guro ang kanyang pangalan at the same time kung ano ba ang nangyayari sa ating sitwasyon sa panahon na yun. So pagkatapos po yun, susunod na araw na kung saan gagamitin nila ang kanilang mga libro para sa kanilang pag-aaral. So tulad ng mga iba't ibang gawain o pre-assessment na tinutukoy natin bago sila dumako sa kanilang gawain na pagbasa po. So tulad ng halimbawa na sa module na napapakita na pinakita dito yung mga gawain tulad ng pre-assessment and yung sa pagbabasa po nila ng kanilang pagbasa sa kanilang libro. Then pagkatapos nila magbasa, magkakaroon po sila ng iba't ibang gawain na may patungkol sa kanilang binasa. Ayan. Then of course, kinakailangan magkaroon ng patuloy na paggamit ng writing kasi 'di ba nasa computer na tayo ay more on technology, so kinakailangan pa rin na sila ay magsulat. So magkakaroon sila ng pagsulat na patungkol sa kanilang binasa. So dito po nila ipapasok sa pagsulat ng journal para sa unang markahan po. Then meron pong rubric na nakalaan for them. And pagkatapos po ng lahat ng gawain sa araw na yon, ang kanilang mga magulang o taga-gabay ay pipirma sa kanilang gawain po. Yan. So after nila gawin ang kanilang gawain sa araw na yon, ang susunod na araw ay magkakaroon naman ng lesson proper po. Yung sa lesson proper, dito na kung ano ba yung wika ng kanilang lesson for that day po. So tulad ng halimbawa nandito, meron po yung isa-isip natin na ang unang topic is pangalan. Yan po. So meron yung pantangi at pambalana. Then of course, after nung lesson po nila or lesson proper, magkakaroon sila ng mga different activities na related po dun sa lesson proper. Ayan. So besides na dun sa mga nakukuha po natin sa libro, meron din pinoprovide ang mga guro po. Ayan. Para po, since ang parents and guardians po natin ang nagiging gabay sa kanilang pag-aaral, maliban po sa atin na malayo, okay, meron pong pinoprovide ang school namin na key answer. Bakit po nagpo-provide ng key answer? Di ba? Kasi pwedeng dayain ng mga magulang or siguro ng mga bata na kukunin na lang yung mga key answer and sasagutan. Parang kanilang mga score ay perfect. So dito natetest na lang ang honesty sa pagdating sa pagbibigay ng activity po. So pagbabasehan lang naman nila itong key answer pagkatapos ng kanilang mga gawain po. Okay. Since nagkaroon naman ng try or sabihin na natin ng trial nung last school year, pagdating sa ating situation ngayon na pagdating sa module writing, natest naman namin na wala naging big problem pagdating sa pagbibigay ng key answer sa mga bata. Ayan. Then also, maliban po sa since kinakailangan naman na makita din ng mga guro ang kanilang ginawa ng mga bata sa module, meron pong nakalaan na page po sa mga bata na sagutang papel. Ito po. So halimbawa po dito, meron sa sagutang papel na dito ito lang po yung ibabalik ng mga magulang sa school para hindi na po lahat ng module at may maiwan sa mga bata na kanilang gagamitin pagdating ng summative or mga quiz nila po. Yeah, so maiwan po sa mga bata yung mga lesson proper at the same time yung mga ginawa nila for that set of module. So yung ibabalik lang po sa mga guro itong sagutang papel. So dito po ilalagay nila yung mga nangyari, halimbawa yung pre-assessment and of course yung journal writing para ma-check po ng teacher yung mga nagawa po. And of course sa last, dito po nilalagay yung mga score ng mga bata. Halimbawa meron pong tally sheet sa last part po na dito na po ilalagay ng mga magulang ang mga naging score ng mga bata sa kanilang mga activity. And at the last part, dito na magsasign po yung mga parents namin na they did their best sa kanilang paggawa ng module. So siguro po may mga i-correct pa or somewhat na meron pa natin pagbutihan yung mga module na i-prepare natin po. So ito lang po yung naihanda ko para po sa elementary department po. Yan po. Thank you po.
So thank you, Sir Carl from St. Louis University. Now we have the next presenter from same school, St. Louis University, in the elementary department, Ma'am Lailani po. Ma'am Lailani.
Good morning po.
Sandali, meron ba tayong taga St. Louis University talaga?
St. Louis College po, ma'am.
Ay, sorry, St. Louis College.
Nagtaka ako.
Lailani, please.
Okay.
Pero wait lang, bibigla. Okay, ito po yung wait lang po. Ipapakita ko po yung sa amin naman po sample po namin doon sa preschool. Yung pinakita ko kanina ni Sir Carl, it's from elementary department. So this time, ang ipapakita ko naman po ay sa preschool department, particularly sa kinder 1 po. Actually, halos pareho lang po kami ng format ni Sir Carl, pero may mga konting na iba na. So ito po sa akin, ready readiness po kasi yung handle po sa kinder 1. So sa amin po, pinapakita po namin yung mga course outline, meaning po yung mga laman or mga topics na i-discuss po namin sa aming modules. Yan po. Nilalagay po namin siya from first hanggang fourth quarter. Tapos dito po naglalagay po kami ng reminder na bago sagutan ng siya, dapat naka-remove po yung mga answer keys. Kasi po nilalagay po namin yung answer keys sa pinaka last portion. Diniscuss nila sa inyo. Hindi yun yung gagawin. Tapos yan po yung module overview po namin. Nandiyan din po yung mga topic na contains ng module 1. Siyempre po sa preschool, medyo mas ano po kami, kaya may mga guide po kami sa parents. Para po maano na hindi sila yung nag-a-answer kasi usually di po ba, yun yung po yung problem sa preschool. Yun. Sila na yung nag-a-answer sa modules sa mga anak nila. So nagbibigay po kami ng mga guides or mga reminders para i-follow po ng mga parents. So, yan po. Usually, yan po yung mga guides virtual lesson, yung laman ng aming module. May hands-on activity din po kami. At syempre, meron din worksheet activity sa last call. So, nandiyan na po yung parang kung paano i-assist ng parent. Meron po kaming level 1, i-ano yung instruction. Meron din po kaming level 2, hanggang level 3 po yan. Specified instruction na kapag ano na po. Hindi na po nag-work ang level 1 at saka level 2 na instruction po nila. So, nandyan din po yung yan na po yung mga learning outcomes or objectives na aming module. Yan din po yung study schedule, yung Zoom schedule po namin. So, bali po ang reading namin is for every Tuesday and Wednesday at 8 to 8:40 a.m. po, yung Zoom class schedule po namin. Nandyan din po yung assessment guide. Hanggang 9 po siya. So, sa Philippine. And then, ito na po yung mismong discussion part. So, ang aking first lesson is letter names. And itatakal po namin siya ng 4 days. Yan po yung mga learning objectives, materials, mga kailangan ng mga bata, mga references. Tapos, yan po, ipinapakita. As much as possible, pinapakita po namin yung picture namin para makilala din ng mga bata yung teacher po nila. Siyempre, we always begin our lesson with a prayer. So, palagi may naman. So, yan po. So, yan yung songs po. Kung minsan, binibigay po namin yung link para hanapin na or yung video mismo, binibigay po namin. Naka-USB po siya. Para i-play na lang po ng parents para hindi na po sila maghanap sa YouTube. So, yan na po. Medyo mas comprehensive po siya kasi sa kinder po kasi. Yung mga questions na tanungin. At syempre, naglalagay po din po kami ng mga hands-on activity or mga games para naman po hindi mabore yung mga bata. Usually, kung hindi po siya games, like activity po siya or culinary arts, depende po kung ano yung topic namin na pwede namin siya i-connect. Tapos, yan na po yung mga
tama ko sabay ka
namin ay yung mga worksheet po. Activity 1, ganyan po. Tracing para po kasi kinder 1 pa lang po.
Sir Josh!
Tapos dito ulit, yan na po mag-start po kami sa songs, minsan. Tapos may hands-on activity po. This time, ang pinagawa ko po na hands-on is let's rate it. Simple lang po siya para mas ma-enhance pa yung skills ng mga bata. So, sasabihin po namin kung ano yung materials na nandyan at syempre yung procedure po na susundin ng parents para ma-assist nila na mabuting anak nila. Yan, naglalagay po din po kami ng note na iti-take ng Actually, kumukuha po kami ng sample ng pictures sa kanila. Pero may disclaimer po, kumukuha po kami, mayroon po silang concept. Nag-prepare po sila ng concept ng mga parents para makuha ng picture yung mga anak nila. So yan po, para po ma-maximize yung use ng books, pinapaano pa rin po namin yung book activities, may mga assessment, din po siya. Sa last part po, pupunta na po tayo sa last part. Yan po yung answer key, nilalagay ko namin po yung kung ano yung page ng book or yung page ng module. Yan po. And yung evaluation part na po, ito na po. Kung paano po nila yung score sa mga bata. Tapos kung paano po yung performance. Kung 4 ba, na-master ba niya. Tapos siya lang yung mag-isa nag-answer. Kung 3, kung may siya understood the topic pero may mga certain pa rin na kailangang i-improve. Hanggang 1 po siya. Tapos yan na po yung last part. Kung na-finish ba ng activity na siya lang po ba ang nag-answer? O kaya kailangan pa rin ng help from the parents or guardian. O kaya kailangan ng mas maraming help or prompt Yung isa naman is naka-depends sa parents. So, i-mark po nila. Tapos, yan na. Tapos, merong parents dito. So, that's it po dun sa module po na aming kindergarten. Sir?
Okay na po.
Okay, okay na po.
Okay, so thank you, Ma'am Lailani Nisperos from St. Louis College. Now we have the last to present in the elementary department from Pugo Catholic School of the Diocesan Schools of La Union. We have Ma'am Lydia Dumantay. Ma'am Lydia, please.
Good morning po.
Morning.
Good morning to my first principal, Ma'am Sepriaso, way back 1997, and also to Sir Robert Lilina, my co-teacher in 1997 also. So,
Talaga? Wait, Lydia. Okay. Yeah, okay. Matanda na ako. Sige, okay.
Bata pa rin, ma'am, sa mukha. Okay lang. So, I'll present the ready-made modules of the CDS, made or created by the teachers, and then after which checked by the principals and school heads before distributing the modules. So, i-share screen ko po yung sa Filipino. All right, so in our first topic for Filipino, which is we call that Aralin 1, ito ay may pamagat na angkarian ng mga hayop sa gubat.
Ma'am Lydia,
Opo.
hindi po nakikita yung PowerPoint mo. Iba po ang lumalabas.
Yung file page lang po. I-click nyo pa yung file.
Ay, okay. Sige po, sir. Paano, ma'am? Paano to? Wait lang po. Paano? Share, handa ka nga, ma'am. Share screen. Handa ka, ma'am? Oo. I-unmute mo, ma'am. Hindi, ma'am. So, yung one lang, hindi ako marinig. Ay, wait lang. Share screen.
Share the
Share
file.
screen. Opo, sir. Share screen. And then,
Yung file mismo.
ito. Ito yata, ma'am, kanina. Ito ba? Okay. And then, share. Okay na po ba?
Yes, ma'am, yes.
Okay.
Okay na, yan na.
Okay. Ito po yung una naming lesson sa Filipino 6, ang kaharian ng mga hayop sa gubat. And as I learned from Sir Robert kanina na sa modules nandun yung mga objectives. So makikita naman po natin dito yung mga objectives ng lesson, which is naibabahagi ang isang pangyayaring nasaksihan, naibibigay ang kahulugan ng pamilyar at di kilalang salita sa pamamagitan ng formal na definition, nasasagot ang mga tanong tungkol sa napakinggang pabula at nakapagbibigay ng sariling solusyon sa isang suliraning naoobserbahan. Kagaya ng sinabi kanina ni Sir Robert na yung module natin, hindi ka agad-agad lesson. Parang nakikipag-usap ka rin sa mga bata, sa mga estudyante natin. So mayroon din kaming paghahanda na nagawa. Ma'am, ano ito? Pag dito sa baba, ma'am, ibababa mo.
Scroll down.
So, ito po yung paghahanda dun sa aralin namin. Mayroon po kaming mga larawan na nakikita ng mga bata. Then, andun naman na po yung mga tanong kagaya na sabihin namin, suriin ang malarawang nagpapakita ng iba't ibang problema sa kapaligiran, dulot ng pagkakalbo ng mga kagubatan at kabundukan sa bansa. So, in this way, yung mga bata ay i-detect o they will analyze the given pictures. Lagyan ng check ang patlang na nasa ibaba ng larawan ng mga pangyaring aktwal mong naranasan. So, real events nabasa, napanood o nabalitaan. Ibahagi ang iyong pananaw ukol sa isa sa mga pagkasira ng kalikasang nakalarawan. Nakagaya nga ng sinabi ni Sir Robert kanina na parang ang feeling ng mga bata ay nakikipagkwentuhan ka lang sa kanila, na ikaw ay nasa harapan nila. And then after that, nandun rin po yung mga milk, kagaya ng naibigay ang kahulugan ng pamilyar at di kilalang salita sa pamamagitan ng formal na definisyon. So galing po yan sa milk. And then mayroon din po kaming pagpapalalim, that is deepen. Gagamitin po rin namin yung mga libro namin na para yung sabi kanina ni Sir Robert na para may use yung mga books. Hindi magko-complain yung mga parents pag hindi nagamit yung mga books kasi. So sa amin din sa diocese ay nagagamit yung mga books kasi nandun po talaga na nakalagay yung mga pahina ng aklat na gagamitin namin. Dire-diretso lang po. May mga tanong din na sasagutin ng mga bata hanggang doon sa paglilipat. And that is transfer. Oo. So may mga iba't iba tayong mga activities sa paglilipat. Mayroon tayong gawain 1, 2, ganon. And then may mahalaga rin tayong mahalagang tanong. At dito na papasok, after that, dito na papasok yung gramatika. Kunwari, uri ng pangalan ayon sa katangian. So may papasok na doon. Andun pa rin yung paggalugad o explore, pagpapatatag, firm up, pagpapalalim. And then, yung mga gawain ng mga bata to check the learning of the students. So ito Sir Robert po ang ginagawa namin sa diocese.
Okay, thank you for sharing. Okay,
Welcome, sir.
before we will proceed to the high school presentations, magbibigay lang ako ng notes ko regarding the ones which were presented from elementary. We understand, as I have made mention in my disclaimer earlier, we understand that each has an institutional format and a certain language that revolves around your community. We are not going to change that. If that is something that is understood by everyone in your community, then be it. Okay, for the first presenter, Sir Carl, of course, that's the St. Louis College format. I can only have the following. A very important point that I learned from it is there is a portion which is highlighted paalala sa mga magulang. Well, of course, that is very important so that at least the parents will be guided on how they are going to help the children and not to answer the module for their children. Yung isa siguro sa mga idea nun. And then also, the format also, Ma'am Lupico earlier was saying about the icons in the first page so that the children will be able to get a glimpse of how they can make how the children can make use of the module from the first module up to the last. Okay, SLC has their own set of icons. Meron din yung overview niya, it's somehow different. It was stated differently. Another highlight is indicated yung araw. Yung lesson na yon ay gagawin sa araw first day, yung ganon. That is so good kasi alam ng bata when they are going to make use of it. For the preschool presenter naman, ang nakita kong maganda dito is more, syempre preschool po yan, more guides to the parent, to the tutor, as a fisher. At the same time, may nakita akong intervention which there is a tier yung level 1, level 2, level 3. Probably that's for an intervention strategy to help all the children to read or to master certain skills. Ang nakita ko lang, napansin ko lang, there are images na pinakita in the module for Teacher Lailani na which is America, yung bata American. So I hope na gawin mo is localized na lang. And then separate page yung instruction for book exercises. Probably it works for preschool yon. Hindi siya naka-embed in the series of in the set of steps. Okay. And for the last one, the one that I can appreciate is that agad-agad nagbago siya ng format to suit to the one which is presented at nakita ko yon. But I think the format nila ay lesson plan format, and the terminologies used are those which are used in the steps of an in-person class or face-to-face class. But I won't say na hindi yun tama. It's because if that's something that will work in your own institution and yun yung naiintindihan ng mga bata, then be it. Okay? Meron din siyang portion ng closure which I did give an emphasis earlier. Sinasabi niya pagpapalalim. Kay Sir Carl din pala, ang closure niya at saka yung synthesis niya ay yung isabuhay. So nonetheless, as I have been mentioned, if you are going to think about it, all formats, all templates will still revolve around yung 4 major steps na sinabi ko, na discuss. Okay, thank you so much. Let us now give the floor the Zoom space to the high school presenters.
Okay, thank you very much, Teacher Robert, for the evaluation of the presenters for the elementary. We have a sole presenter for high school since most of the institutions for high school have, I think, digital modules or they are online. ODL po yung modality nila. So may we now give the Zoom space to Engineer Grace Molina for the presentation of her output.
Ni hao. Grace Molina. I am representing Lucy, or the Unicultural Institute. Can you see my screen? Sir, is my screen visible? Thank you.
Yes, po, ma'am.
So this is the module for Mathematics 10. I get the permission of the teacher to present it. So this is our cover page. And then the next page is actually the author's page, where we place here the original author, the original date that it was developed, and then if there is an edited version of it. And there are some notes that we usually see on learning materials. So this is usually on the second page of books, and the property note is also placed here. Then the succeeding page will contain, actually contains our vision and mission and core values, and also the objectives of the department, specific department that is owning the module. So Mathematics 10 is on the junior high, so this is the objectives of our junior high school. We included, this one is coming from our institution, we included the pledge of honesty and integrity. We asked the students and the parents to sign in this page, and they are obliged to return it to Lucy so that they are reminded that we should be practicing integrity and honesty, is valuing actually on the part of the parents, and also especially on the students. They will sign it in, and that we actually place there that should there be some forms of cheating and dishonesty, it's governed by the student's handbook. So it's just a reminder. It's going to make the students cautious about it. Then the module introduction, big picture of it. Then what's the focus of the subject? And this one is actually telling us the chunk. This was actually discussed by Sir Dan a while ago. So chunking the module into different parts. So it's actually on the creativity also of the teacher on how they are going to divide the module. Now actually this module is the one-quarter module. Then the learning objectives is included. The module map. The module map is actually based from the repository of modules of the PEAC. So this was patterned in there. Or otherwise, we actually get an exact copy of the module map. Then we have a pretest. What is this? What is included this school year is we place there a time started, time finished, and the date accomplished for us to make the student cautious about how much time is supposed to be for the given readiness test. To just give them a caution that somebody's watching, not actually the teacher who is watching them, but somebody more into a certain level watching them so that they practice honesty and integrity to answer the different tasks, and that includes also the pre-test or the readiness test. So this will give them a caution. This was patterned in the modules of common. So they do this so that we actually record the correct pattern of doing the task. Kasi may time limit usually for every problem that should be solved. And we will see the progress of the students if we will do this also. So yan, ano siya, multiple choice as mentioned by Sir Dan. Then the biggest bulk of the module is the content. So ito na po yung content ng Math 10. It starts with patterns and sequences and series. Then we have firm up. Ayan. Tapos deepening. Okay. You notice that in every, it's footnoted with the name of the teacher and also the quarter and the subject. So that if it gets disintegrated, alam ng estudyante kung anong page na siya. Plus, for us to own the module, we place there our watermark. Then we have transfer, that's usually the last part for every topic. Yan, gagawa na sila. It's referred from the book. Only, ito, hindi pa totally corrected. Only the title of the book was not included. As a teacher to include the title of the book. It's the page that is included here. Okay, for the written work and also for the perform activity. Now, in the last portion, we give some sort of a feedback from the student, how the student was able to grasp the lesson, was able to answer, and was able to understand the lesson or the topic. Yan. So, lalagyan niya ito ng rating ng sarili niya. If it would be for the lower grade, it's actually the parents who actually accomplish the feedback form. Then, the next chunk of the module comes in. In the last end portion of the module, we have there the performance task. If there's a major performance task, what else? The rubric is included. We have a matrix for the rubric, and also the collection of the references are included in the last portion of the module. Plus, a letter to the parents giving us a feedback on if there are some typographical errors. If it's an open-ended blank form where the parents will give or guardians will give feedback about what they saw in the module. If there is anything that they would like us to improve in the module, there is a certain exercise that cannot be understood or anything they would like to give as a feedback. It's actually on the end of the module. Now, if we are including, yes, we are including some videos from YouTube for further understanding. We usually have that here. I think it's good to adapt what Sir Dan discussed about the QR code. Well, I guess we'll also try to include it for our offline learners. Actually, this type of module is for our modular students, who make use of the module itself plus the prescribed textbook. Now, for the online learners, we have a definite schedule for which they are invited to the classrooms because we make use of Google Education Suite. They know their time, they know their schedule to enter their classes. Plus, this module is also uploaded in the classroom stream. Okay po. So, submission, if for example you have questions like readiness test, post-test, transfer, we do electronic submission of modules. By the way, we only have a very few number of students who are into the modular learners, or the offline learners. We classify them as offline learners. So, yan po yung aming mga module. I know it's not perfect, but there are things that I've learned today from the talk of Sir Dan. There are things that we can include to improve further our learning modules. Thank you for the opportunity to share what we have at La Union Cultural Institute. Sheshe.
Thank you very much, Ma'am. Engineer Grace. Ma'am, Dr. Grace po, meron po tayong.
Actually, hindi sir, wala. Ako sana yung magtatawag sa kanya kanina, pero okay lang sir. Ikaw na yung mag-process dun sa kanyang na-share.
Okay, so thank you, Engineer Grace, for that very comprehensive presentation and a very detailed module which can be modeled to all of us. Napakaganda po ng module na na-present po. And we also appreciate the inclusion of the some features which were presented a while ago. We really like the author's page po of the module, just to give credit to the writer and to the editor. Kasi syempre pwede magbago po yung author, then yung editor po, di ba? So maganda po yan actually. So parang sa book din po, di ba? Then also the inclusion of the vision, mission, and core values. Okay. Then for the part of the module on the honor code, kanila Ma'am Grace po is nasa pledge of honesty and integrity. So a while ago in the presentation, we gave you a sample parang honor code which will be filled out by the parents or guardians. Then for Engineer Grace sa Lucy, they had it in the pledge of honesty and integrity. Okay, so yun. Then the chunking of the topics was applied. So it's really important din talaga sa high school na hindi bulk po yung content po ng module sa isang module. Macha-chunk po siya or masesegment. For the pretest, so the inclusion of the time started, time finished. That's something new to us po. And perhaps we could also employ that one for the purpose of independent learning, lalo sa mga modular students po natin. The module map is also important so that the students could see the flow of discussion. So, yan. Then, yung inclusion na rin po ng, for more examples, refer to pages, this one of your book, then the title of the book, yun na lang po siguro. Then, for the activities, meron din po yung activities coming from the book and the feedback. Okay, so for students kasi who are purely modular, the performance tasks really are integrated in the module. Talaga po dapat nandun na rin po sa module. So wala na po akong ibang ma-comment kasi the module is really very comprehensive and very detailed with the specific guide to the students. And I think that module could really help in the independent learning of students po. So yan po.
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Grace po.
Okay, Sir Danny, I tried to call other volunteers, but like they've said, they are on online learning, and they do not have any modules for now. Siguro enough na yung kay Ma'am Grace, and then dun sa tatlong nag-present kanina sa elementary, especially that it is now past 12 o'clock and all
Yes.
may have previous appointments.
Okay, so thank you once again to our dear participants. May we now give the Zoom space to our Master of Ceremony, Dr. Jeff Marlon Zamoranos, for the continuation of our program.
Okay, thank you very much, Teacher Danny and Teacher Robert. Truly, we have showcased different modules in our different schools this morning's activity. And we are very happy for those schools who have shared their milestone in creating and in developing this great module for your students. And at the same time, for accepting this worthy challenge of this new normal. So do we have any more sharings that we would like to do as a final one? I think wala na. So with that, may we request now our APSCU La Union Chapter Vice President to have the closing remarks before we have the raffle. Raffle ba yan? May raffle ba tayo, Ma'am Lori? Or the awards?
Yeah, we do not have raffle because we have limited funds. We just give awards to what I have mentioned a while back. But may I ask everyone
Ma'am
to maybe to have a picture taking, you open your camera so that there will be some sort of remembrance to all of us.
Picture taking now.
It's high time for you to show your faces and your beautiful faces and your handsome, of course. Okay, imagine nyo, after 1.5 years, well, I could see from the screen that we look all young. We look all young, huh?
Yes,
okay,
ma'am.
Danny, may request you to take pictures before the closing of the program by Sir Eric.
Ma'am Lori, where are you?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Hindi ako
I can see
nakaklose ako.
probably you're eating already.
Because I'm tired, you know, I got 2 classes a
Sigurado
while
ako
back.
seafood lobo yan.
Okay,
I got 2
so
classes a while back. Okay.
we have 8 panels, so we will be smiling 8 times. Okay, because we do not know where we are on a particular panel on my end. So let's smile po 8 times. Ready? 1, 2, 3, smile.
Carl, you open your camera, Carl. Joseph. Mas maganda
Okay.
makita
Let's
tayo
all
lahat.
open our
Next
camera,
panel.
our
Next
video.
panel. Ready? 1, 2,
Let's
3,
share our
smile.
smile.
Okay.
Yes,
So that's for the next panel. Then
Sino
for the
po?
third, ready? 1, 2, 3, smile.
Check mo nga,
Ayan.
tita.
Okay, fourth panel, ready? 1, 2, 3, smile. All right. Fifth panel, ready? 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay. Let's have the sixth panel, ready? 1, 2, 3, smile. Seventh panel, ready? 1, 2, 3, smile.
Biden, kulipid na siya. Check mo.
And finally, eighth panel, ready? 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay. So there you go.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
May we now have
Meron na
Sir-
tayong evidence, Ma'am Lori.
Yeah. Okay.
Sir Jeff,
So
you're the
maybe
closing.
That is actually
it's,
the best
can
evidence
I
that
announce
we have.
first, Jeff? Well, the winner
Yes,
for
Ma'am
the
Lori,
biggest,
take it away.
may we have the winner for the biggest number, no? Number of participants from Agoo, SMA Agoo. Let's give a big hand to Mamalik na. Yan. So Mamalik na, please send us your GCash number so that you can get your prize.
Thank you, Ma'am
And
Lori.
as I mentioned a while back, the 5 first registrants, Dr. Grace Hope, Jana Gapos of Sacred Heart, and the 3 from ASAT under Ma'am Michelle, Caris, and Angelica. Siguro isang GCash number na lang. Pakibigay po kay Teacher Danny kasi siya po yung may hawak ng ano natin. And then yung 4 na nag-present, you will also be given a little amount, of course, just to, because you volunteer. And maganda kasi ang i-develop natin yung spirit of volunteerism and sharing, di ba? So we are also giving you a little amount. So please send your GCash also through Teacher Danny so that you will receive your cash prizes. Thank you very much.
Okay, so thank you very much once again, Ma'am Lori, for initiating our APSCU La Union webinar for this morning. Ang galing ng mga speakers po natin, and of course our facilitators. Sir Robert, yes?
Elementary group asked for the presentation to be shared to them. To whom are we supposed to give? I told them that I'll just simply ask the APSCU officers who will actually take charge of getting the file.
Okay, so
Okay, sir, noted.
Robert is more than willing to share. Okay, very good, Robert.
Thank you very much, Sir Robert, Sir Danny.
Encourage the high school to
Okay.
make module para maganda.
Sir Danny, can you also share your module?
Sure, ma'am. Sure po.
Slides. Thank you.
I think it's through APSCU na tayo.
Ma'am Lori,
APSCU na
to the APSCU.
lang, APSCU.
Yes, through APSCU, we will give it to the secretary, and the secretary will be the one to share it to those who would like to get a copy. Will that be okay, Dr. Ever? Are you still around?
Yes po, yes po.
Yan, yan. Okay. So, Sir Jeff, take it away.
Okay, ma'am. With that, we are very happy. With that, we are very happy and grateful for all our attendees for this morning. Now, may we have now our closing remarks to be given by our APSCU La Union Vice President, Sir Eric Trief.
Okay, thank you very much, Sir Jeff, Ma'am Lori. It's been a pleasure being with you all today and for being part of this activity brought by the organization. Truly, it is as timely as ever, most especially to our present setup that this pandemic has. I must admit that we, especially the private schools, are greatly affected by the COVID-19, and webinars with topics like this could help us structuring and updating our academic continuity framework. So we thank our speakers and our facilitators for providing us the foundational knowledge of putting up this modular writing activity as one of the key essentials in providing the skills for our frontliners, and that is our teachers. Thank you, Phoenix Publishing, for partnering with us in equipping the private educators of La Union. So we value also our fellow APSCU officers of La Union under the leadership of our beloved President, Madam Eberlita Nones, for being always there despite our busy schedules, trying to make ends meet for our respective school commitments. So they are able to provide assistance and support to the organization. So your dedication and cost to APSCU are truly rewarding. And lastly, thank you to our dear teachers and colleagues for participating in this workshop. It is such an honor to be serving you, and we are here to let you know that we will not stop in providing you a series of lectures and workshops in the best way we can, in building up this organization as one. In these trying times, our education sector has suffered much, and we do not know what the future lies ahead of us. However, I believe that if we put on our resiliency and work hard as a team, we are able to achieve greater things that will benefit us as an organization and as one happy family. So marami pong salamat sa pag-join niyo po dito at Sir Jeff, take it away.
Thank you very much once again, Sir Eric Tria, for that very heartwarming closing remarks. Heartwarming, it's because it will always show how teamwork works, most especially to the APSCU La Union chapter. So kudos to all of our officers headed by our president, Ma'am Everlita Nones, and to the rest of the officers who initiated and who have been part of this particular activity. Thank you very much to our facilitators as well, speakers, to our partner, the Phoenix Publishing House, Ma'am Lori as well. Thank you very much, everyone. To all of our attendees, it has been a great pleasure to be your host for today's activity. And I believe as well that we have learned a lot of things. And we will always be learning from one another, because learning from one another is a great thing to do, especially with these pandemic times. So thank you very much. And this has been your MC for today, Jeff Marlon Zamoranos, the APSCU Director. So God bless and keep safe. Mabuhay po tayong lahat. Kudos
thank
to
you.
the APSCU La Union chapter.
Okay, thank you very much for responding. Actually, I volunteered really to Dr. Nones this event so that we can help. And I tried to contact Phoenix to more or less take care of the honorarium of our speakers so that we will not pay anymore. So thank you so much for the very nice attendance and for the cooperation. I hope that one day we'll be having again another one from the others so that we can share our best practices. And in that way, again, I would like to add on what Sir Eric has mentioned a while back, that we need to help one another to survive. We have to help one another to survive. Thank you and a pleasant afternoon. Good lunch to everyone.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Kala ko may mapapadala si Ma'am Lori.
Bye, everyone.
Next time when we see each other,
Salamat po.
if there will
Thank
be
you
chance that we'll
po.
see each other, we're gonna eat, of course, why not? Diba?
Yes, ma'am. I could send you my Gcash.
Yeah, maraming salamat, Sir Terso, my partner.
Thank you for our prize.
Yeah.
Ma'am Lori.
Not that much, but of course, there's something